Some areas become dry towards the end of the race, but fingers
just stops now and we can get back underway.
Jack, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Mate, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks to Jack Miller, yeah, echoing the sentiments of all of us here in Indonesia. We do hope that we can get underway. If you are just tuning in, we have a delayed start. Fabio Quartararo is not obviously expecting any action soon. He's got back in his team clothing. Oh, dearie me. Terrible mistake. Was that his ice cream? Oh dear, that's the first mistake Fabio Quartararo has made all weekend so far. That's a little bit of a red-faced moment for our pole man and our reigning world champion. Now, this lady is doing some sterling work now. She's been out on the grid. She is trying to... the national anthem. Of course, this was a man who rode with 20 riders on that special parade in Jakarta, which Lewis attended. Gave us a real insight and a real flavour into just how popular MotoGP is in this part of the world. It's great to have Mr. Widodo here present for what we hope is going to be a landmark and milestone day for Indonesian motorsport. A landmark day, of course, for MotoGP as well. We talk about how Spain is kind of the European heartbeat of the championship. I think very much the rest of the world heartbeat for MotoGP is very much in this Southeast Asian nation. They love their motorcycle racing. Marc Marquez flags waving. Unfortunately, when we do get underway here in Lombok, we will not see Marquez in action.
The different casing to deal with the heat that we were expecting here in dry conditions has certainly caught Repsol Honda out. Pol Espargaro was fastest on 2 of the 3 days at the pre-season test here back in February. Really competitive in just about every condition on all days. But Espargaro, once we arrived here in Indonesia, hasn't been able to enjoy the same kind of feeling at this Grand Prix, and was rather critical of Michelin. Of course, Michelin having to make a decision based on the 3 days of data that they had at the test, and decided that they had to bring this different casing of the rear tyre. They were fearful of the heat and of blisters causing them some real problems. We had track temperatures mid-60s centigrade on Thursday here at the Pertamina.
Who we saw on the grid was what they call in these parts of the world a rain handler. It's a term for people in Indonesian society who are believed to be able to control the rain or the weather. Generally, rain handlers control the weather by moving clouds. They service they usually use for big events such as weddings, musics and concerts. Well, let's hope the rain handlers manage to handle this weather. That's a great embrace between two men who've done so much together to bring this sport that we love to a country that loves our sport, MotoGP. Dorna CEO, of course, Carmelo Espeleta, embracing and having a conversation here with Mr. Joko Widodo, the President of the Republic of Indonesia. These two men, of course, have worked tirelessly behind the scenes for weeks, months and years to bring MotoGP back to Indonesia. There were 2 Indonesian Grand Prix at the Sentul circuit near Jakarta back in 1996 and 1997. Popularity of MotoGP in Southeast Asia has ballooned and rocketed over the last 20 years or so. I remember going to Malaysia and Sepang when Sepang was first built back in 1999. They struggled to get 10,000 fans through the gate. Now you can get 150,000 fans coming to Sepang. It's always great to have international races, to bring the sport to new audiences, to bring the sport to where they love MotoGP. Of course, we race in Thailand, we race in Malaysia.
It's been one of the regrets, hasn't it, amongst many of the last 2 or 3 years, of course, with COVID-19. Of course, our hearts go out to everyone who's been affected over the course of this pandemic, but of course it's prevented MotoGP to coming to places like Sepang, and of course we're waiting later in the year to go to Motegi. Shoes more represent or resemble canoes, which will be quite useful actually in conditions such as these. So I think I'd be well set.
Get your flippers and your snorkel out. I think that's what you need.
Well, here's an onboard lap with a difference then of the Pertamina Mandalika circuit. You're inside the safety car heading into turn 1. You can see on screen the standing water still on the circuit. It's difficult to really tell from this camera angle whether the conditions are easing or not. Just popped out of the commentary box around 10 minutes ago and the rain was still falling very heavily indeed. Of course, they're trying to clear some of the water, do whatever they can, of course, so that once conditions, if they do improve to the stage where we can go racing, the track conditions don't. The welcome from the locals here, this stuff.
Yeah, I never thought I'd come to what they've come to see. This man fighting hard to retain his MotoGP World Championship crown.
Fabio Quartararo's changed into his civvies, so he's not expecting a restart anytime soon. Of course, he's got half an hour to play.